Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of World War III with from Bama with Bite. This is the title you just suggested to me, Taylor. How are you,
It's
darling?
I am great. It's hot as hell down here in Bama.
Ugh,
It's
we're melting.
102.
Ew, here too.
Ooh, yeah.
We're just not used to this.
No, I'm
So,
not cut
no,
out for
everyone's
this.
melting. Yeah, I know. So you see, my hair is
Right,
up too because this is
right.
not a good
It's
day for hair.
right. This is how we do it in the heat. Mhm.
So what is going on with, I mean, I know this is not related to Alabama specifically, but
But
y'all are
so
at war.
much,
Are you? Like, what's going on?
so much has happened since you were in Alabama. You leave a week ago, and we completely fall apart. So
I
I'm gonna
should never
need
leave.
your. I'm telling you, I'm gonna need you on a regular basis down here.
Well, okay.
Yeah, so who knows what's going on over there? Whatever they say, it's usually the opposite of what's going on. We're going to give them 2 weeks. We gave them 2 days. Who knows? But we just watch and,
Yeah.
try to go on as best you can with,
Because I
the
think up
world.
here, since the announcement of the bombing in Iran, we're kind of stunned walking around saying, "What is happening?" Right?
And
Like, so what's the reaction down in
it,
Huntsville? Like,
I think it's kind of the same way. And of course, down here in the South, everybody's trying to buy up their gas and, like just being kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say panic mode, but like, how far does this go? But maybe this is the end of it. Maybe we don't fire back. We'll see.
anyway, it's a bit
Yeah,
scary, if you ask me.
it
And
is.
all of that because he didn't have enough people at his birthday party.
There were some empty bleachers. It was a little embarrassing, but I can't help that. It has nothing to do with Huntsville, Alabama. But anyway,
No, I know, but you feel the pain of it. Like I mean, you're living under this regime. We're living
definitely,
above it. It's not
that's
much
right.
better, but
I don't
we have a little
know.
distance.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody wants to be under that fat fuck. It's just no, no, not even his wife.
we
Right.
had an announcement this morning. Our Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Belgium early this morning to meet with the top politicians in Europe and announcing some new strength and defense and all kinds of partnerships with partners in Europe. And you know, honestly, we're not the only country doing that. Like, people are realizing that, well, you know what? I know not everybody voted for him, and we want to be kind to all the people in America who are like trying their best and so on. But we just can't rely on you right now. So we're just going to go and find some partnerships elsewhere. And where that leaves the United States in a few years from now, possibly not in the first position worldwide the way you're used to being.
That's
So we'll
right.
see.
It'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we just wanted to show off all of our military might and our fighter jets and our B
It's not
52s.
necessary. We know you've got the toys. You
But
don't
it's
have to
just
use them.
like, right, whose dick is bigger? Who's got the biggest bomb?
Yeah,
Like, how
I
deep
know.
will it go? I'm just like, somebody get him out of office,
So
please.
speaking of embarrassing things, one of the stories I spotted in Alabama, and
Mm.
this is not a politician, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not like one of the front runners or anyone for mayor of Birmingham, which is it's about 100 miles south of Huntsville, more or less. It's an hour and a
Yeah,
bit
about
to
an
get there.
hour. Yeah,
Yeah, it used to
yeah.
be the biggest city in Alabama. Now it's not. Huntsville is bigger than Birmingham,
We
but
are.
Birmingham
We
still
are.
thinks it's bigger. Anyway, so it's a biggish city. And one of the candidates for mayor was in the news this week because he got arrested for prostitution, buying it, not selling it, which apparently is a third-degree misdemeanor in Alabama. And there's no way I can spell this crime. Like, why is and this is not just in Alabama. You never really get in serious trouble for buying sex, only for selling it.
For
And
selling
I've had
it.
it with this. I
It's
think
an
it's a
odd
double
one.
standard.
I agree it's a double standard, but let's back up that with this guy in Birmingham, this is his second offense with
Ah.
buying um,
Mm-hmm.
love, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's a double standard. But this is what bothered me the most is his justification of it when he says, well, at least it wasn't with a man, or it's not like it was with a child. Like,
Well,
you're putting
okay, that was children.
okay,
Yeah,
right. I mean, you're
children. Yes.
putting homosexuals in the same category as pedophiles, and like, you
Uh-uh.
passed women's right. I'm just like, who do you think your nasty ass is? Like, that's the
Yeah,
only way you're getting sex is if you're buying it. But anyway, I'm just glad
right,
that's in Birmingham and not here. But, I
right.
don't agree with these double standards or these sting operations they set up.
No, that's true. No,
And
I don't like it
entrapment's
either.
an entrapment, but I mean, if you're that
Hmm.
dumb that you're going to fall for it, like if you're on a hooker, get on a plane and go out to Las Vegas to the county. It's legal. Do what you
It's a
want.
business. You know
Right,
what? If and I know I can get in trouble for this. I have a pretty liberal position on this, in that if the people selling it are
right,
like fully willing to do it, they're not under duress. They're not
right.
doing it because someone's controlling. They
Because there's a
freely
pimp.
want to
Right,
sell. Yeah, they want to sell this because that's a quick and easy way for them to
right.
make money, and they're comfortable doing it. Oh yeah, knock yourself out. Like this
Go
is a
get you
this
a business license, charge them a
right,
fee, and let's go on with our day.
right. But this business with having it illegal, but everyone's kind of winking at it and saying, well, it's okay unless you get caught, in which case you get like taught, like we're going to send you
Right.
away for a little bit, but not really. You pay, what is it, a $250? I think it was just a couple $100 fine.
It
And
was
then he's going to
nothing.
be back. He's going to be back and,
Right in
doing
the rat
whatever he
race
was
in
doing.
Birmingham. Oh,
I know. And it's just the whole thing is just, and this is so not just Alabama, it's the same thing here. And I have had it with it. I mean, I would go for sting operations only for child pornography because that's often the
fair.
only way you
Right.
can you
You're
can
going to
catch
catch them.
these
There's
guys.
some
Yeah.
sneaky little bastards right there.
Oh yeah.
Sneaky
Yes.
little bastards.
Hmm.
Mm.
So we're
Yes,
in agreement.
we are in agreement. And speaking of mayors, I was cruising through, I think it was Netflix
Hmm.
last night, and we've got a new documentary down here. I don't know that y'all have the same lineup that we do, but it's about the crazy Canadian mayor that got caught smoking
Oh yes.
crack. He has his own show in Alabama, so I was
Yes.
like, wow.
Oh.
I
So
didn't
did
watch it,
Oh,
but
you should. Yeah, you should. It's educational, if
mm,
nothing else. And so this man, Rob Ford, is now dead.
ah,
His brother, Doug Ford, is the premier of Ontario right now.
okay.
So same family.
I don't know that that's good or bad. What do you think?
Uh, well, Doug Ford is not like his brother.
Okay, okay,
The
fair
bar is
enough.
low.
I mean, yeah, right, but
He's
genetics are a
rising above it.
bitch, right? Some people are just born into addicted families. Is the only reason I
Hmm.
ask.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And they're born from a family, like they were reasonably well off. The family had some kind of business and oh, they were printing labels or something or other. Anyway, so it's,
Hmm.
good, normal business. But then Rob Ford fell into some pretty serious addiction
Crack. Yeah.
issues. I'm going to say fell into. I don't know if it was really his fault, his character, or he tripped over himself. I don't know, but he wound up with serious addiction issues and other unsavory things happening while he was mayor of Toronto. Got caught. Somehow kind of got away because he a bit like a Donald Trump before his time, right? He was
Absolutely, I agree
entertaining.
with
That
that.
was the thing.
Yes.
Like people would turn up to say, "What the hell is he going to do next?" And that's how he
Mhm.
kind of got away with it. Anyway, so yes, I believe we have that on Netflix up here. So
Okay,
you
I was
should
just
just have
making
a
sure.
look.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
I wish we could write Donald Trump off like, oh, he's addicted to crack. That's why he acts like this. But
right. No, that
there's
would that would be
no,
too
we
good.
have no, yeah, we have nothing there.
No, but you do have millennials. I cannot ever say this word in English. The millenario, 30 people in their 30s and 40s. This crowd?
Yes, this
Yes.
crowd.
As a Gen
Mhm.
Xer, they're I hate baby boomers. I'm supposed to hate them. And then the people behind me too. So the
We're supposed to
Xers
hate
are
him.
kind of
Yes.
stuck between them. So apparently they're choosing Huntsville, Alabama to go and live.
Yay.
That's not a
Yeah.
bad thing, right?
Not
They're,
a
they're
bad
good.
thing. These young ones, and I'll say this speaking to my neighbors, they just actually moved to Las Vegas, but they were in their early 30s and they bought the house next door. It was their first home. It was their starter home. It was a half
Oh,
a million dollar home, and they were
oh,
these youngsters and they're getting these degrees. They're working online and they come to Huntsville and they spend their money just like us old people do. So I'm not mad
that's,
about it.
no. And maybe
You
they'll have
know,
kids. And then that means that the city is going to grow even faster, right? Because they're
right?
at that
Just
age of having children.
but just don't have kids next to me. I'm not a fan of.
You like them over there?
I like them over there, like across the street, fine. Right next door, like I don't know, like
You
I
don't want to
like
hear
my
them?
my no, no, no.
Yeah, you and my middle
But
child are the same.
you're
We both like kids.
right.
Yeah. In
Like I
theory,
like
they're
them in
great. Like,
small, right, small portions
yeah,
when I can take them back. But
right.
when I listen to a
Hmm.
basketball all night outside my bedroom window, I'm like,
Yeah. No,
it's
I know
time for
it gets
school to
old.
go back. Right, right.
Mm. As a parent
So
of mother of three kids, I've at this point, I am if it's not my kid, I don't even hear it. Like I don't care. Like on a plane, there's a
it's
crying
tuned
baby,
out.
I don't hear it because
Right,
it's not mine, not my problem. And I'm just like, no, I'm so done with this, and I'm very happy about it. So
right. It's just
yes,
like
I'm
good
I'm
luck with that.
completely desensitized. Yes.
I
Now I
got
have
it.
teenagers and they're different. My baby is turning 15 tomorrow, June 24th.
Well,
So yeah, that doesn't make me feel old at all.
not
Anyway,
at all.
so yeah.
15. So do you get
Hmm.
your driver's permit at 15 there?
16 is for
16.
learner's
Ah,
permit, and
okay.
then they have to have that for about a year, and then they at least, and then pass a test, and then they get what they call a G1. No, the G1 is the learners. Then they get a G2. The
Mm,
G2 allows them to drive more or less normal, except they can't have a bunch of friends in the car at night.
it's a
And
restriction.
they can't, they have zero tolerance for any kind of substance. And then there's a few limitations on the license. And then after at least a year or 2 years of that, I don't even know, or they turn 18 or something or other. Anyway, there's a process, and then they can go and pass another test, and then they get the full adult license.
Okay.
Yeah, so
We
we're in
just
there
hand them out at
somewhere.
16, like, take a test. Here you go. Good
You know
luck.
what? I badly parallel parked during my test. I did a couple of, mistakes at 16 back in the 80s, and the guy said, it's all
Yeah,
good.
it's okay.
Here's your
You're fine.
license. And nobody has ever checked me since, so that's kind
Right?
of funny. Yeah, I guess the insurance companies do that for you.
That's right. Like,
Ah,
keep
what's
an
the
eye
other thing
out.
the other thing I had in mind for you this week? And here I'm going to speak through my hat. That's an expression we have in Quebec French. When you're talking through your hat, that means you're talking about stuff you don't know anything about because you're like
Right.
blind from your hat. Anyway, I love
Okay.
gymnastics because when I was a kid, we had the Olympics in Montreal in 1976, and that was the year of Nadia Comaneci, who had this perfect sport. It's legendary in Quebec where I grew
Okay.
up,
Okay.
and she's legit an amazing gymnast. She's been in the U.S. for the longest time. She was from Romania and like went to the U.S. long time ago. Became an Olympic gymnastics coach, and I don't know what she does these days. But I heard and I read in the news that Birmingham would possibly be the city where they would have the trainings and the trials for the U.S.
Interesting.
gymnastics team going into in preparation for the LA Games in 3 years, I guess, now from now. So I'm just excited about it, and I know nothing about gymnastics other than
Yeah.
I love watching it, and it's so graceful and it's hard sport. Like it's
Right.
extraordinarily demanding and it's beautiful, and I'm just happy that this is going to happen not too far from a city where I spent
Right.
some time in.
Yeah, it's just down the road. I don't. This is the first I was hearing of it when you brought it up, but they hosted the World Games maybe in
Mhm.
2022, and the city
Right.
went under a big renovation and cleaning up downtown. They put new hotels. They've put a new amphitheater on that side. They're really pushing the old downtown Birmingham, which is downtown proper in Birmingham would be much larger than downtown proper
Huntsville.
in
Right.
Huntsville, because we can't
Hmm.
have large buildings. We've got that limitation because we're on top of a cave system. But
Right.
it was just abandoned. It was a rough area down there.
Hmm.
So I'm
I
glad to
went.
see that
Yeah.
they're getting it up
Yeah.
and getting
I
it
went a few
together.
months
But
ago. That was this where the Civil Rights Institute. That's considered
it's right in the
downtown.
middle of
Right.
downtown. Yeah,
Right. And then I went to we went to have some brunch or something after that, and it was like kind of like gentrifying, nice, full of woke
yeah,
people. Like,
right.
it's
Yep,
not because you're in the South that you don't have those downtown places where they used to be, grungy places. They're now like nice and trendy and so on. So yeah, I
absolutely.
felt like the place had and I hadn't been downtown Birmingham in a long time, and I thought it was rejuvenated,
Yes,
and not
they've
just
spent,
because there was a bunch of young people, but yeah.
and they spend this much money on getting games and getting these new amenities downtown. You would think they could get a mayor worth a damn, instead of this
That's so good.
this shit show they're running. Like, who's
One
getting
step at a time, Taylor.
that?
One step at a
Right,
time.
right. But who's bringing in these these games and all this spending for downtown when it's crazy
Uh,
down there. I'd like to know how they do it, but
hmm.
If
Maybe
anybody
it's worth
knows, let me
investigating.
know. Right. Like, what kind of good old boys club are y'all running down there, really?
Right. I don't know. What else you doing this week other than melting slowly in the heat?
Melting slowly. I've got my mom and sister tomorrow. That's really. I've got some dinner plans this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just summer in Alabama.
just summer. Like trying to stay inside this week for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, it's hot.
yeah.
It's hot.
It is hotter here today than it was when I was in Alabama last week.
Wow.
I know, and we're so not like
Yeah,
there's
no,
still
y'all are.
in places where like Quebec City, like half of the people, the folks who live there don't have AC.
Mm.
Because we're just it's just not in the culture, and historically it wasn't. There's only a
It's
couple
not
of days a
needed.
year where it gets over 90, so we're like whatever, we'll live,
Right.
right? But
We'll
now
make it.
it's
We'll make
getting to be
it.
different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now if you don't have it, I have AC and I have a brand new one, so I'm like happy about it. It works well. I wouldn't want to try this without AC right now.
No, 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 no.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But so, what's going on in your neck of the woods this week? Anything
Oh,
earth
yes. Well, I'm
shattering?
going. Yes, well, I don't know if it's earth-shattering. Well, Canada Day is next week, so we're
Mm.
preparing for that. And I'm going to a wonderful book launch on Wednesday. A woman who had MS, multiple sclerosis, that was diagnosed, I think, I want to say when she was about, she was a teenager. I want to say 16. I'm reading her book now. And someone who decided to take that diagnosis and say, damn it, I'm going to live twice as hard. I'm paraphrasing, but like this is the story of her life and how she's an advocate for accessibility and making sure that people with disabilities have as much access to everything else as everyone else. And she's absolutely
Absolutely.
right. And she is a wickedly funny writer, also a great reader. She kept a reading diary of all the books she read. So she talks her stories interspaced with the books that she read. And so she was awarded, or she will receive it next week, but she received the Order of Canada for her work. She's also active in the medical assistance in dying movement in favor of making it accessible to people who freely choose to end their lives on their own terms. And so she's getting the Order of Canada. So she's coming to Ottawa for that. And then
Oh,
she's
neat.
relaunching the book that she published a little while ago. So I'm trying to get a whole bunch of people there so she can have her spiel and tell people that, yes, it's important to think about, and not
Absolutely.
just because we have an aging population of people with more and more mobility issues, but like you don't have a society that's accepting of everyone if it's not accepting of people who are in a wheelchair. And that's just the
It's
basics.
true.
That's
Right,
not,
right.
yeah. So, yeah, this is what I'm doing on Wednesday. I'm excited about that. Lunch with friends. Anyway, I don't know.
Fun,
Maybe I'll go
fun.
swimming at some point
That it's
because
warm
we have new
enough.
swimming spots in the Ottawa River. And so I may just go and do that because I
I like it.
stupidly agreed to do a triathlon in September. So now I have
Well,
to go and train a bit and do some more swimming.
do all these things. Just don't do it in the Tennessee River when you're here, and you'll be fine.
I love swimming in the Tennessee River. It's good. I know
Yeah.
you're like, no, 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 it's gross. But
No,
I
yeah.
don't know. I like it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm tough, man.
You are.
All right.
You are.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it was
Have a
lovely
great
speaking with you.
week.
Yeah, and then we'll
As
talk next week.
always. All
Okay.
right. Bye.
Bye.